Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another edition of CWS WWE Breakdown. I'm your host, Zachary Chaby, joined by my co-host, Christian Whitehead and Edward Sweeney. What's going on, fellas?
It's a
Enjoying the
beautiful
summer.
day. It's a beautiful, like Ed said, it's summer. Enjoying the summer. It's a beautiful day here. Okay, what? Beautiful day. Sports are blooming. World Cup booming. Okay, Ronaldo's gone. It's okay, but we just found out. Side note that Justin Bieber's headlining the halftime show. I'm hyped. That's number one. Number two. Okay, the New York Knicks are NBA champions. What? Life is good. Okay. In New York, not for me. I don't like the Knicks. Okay. But SummerSlam looks like a good card. Everything's booming right now. What?
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And you talk about this is what this video is mostly going to be about. Obviously, SummerSlam is still a little bit out. It's like over a month out now. It's going to be August 1st, August 2nd, but basically a month out. And that's what the focus of this video is going to be about. We're going to be talking about the matches that have already been confirmed and then some matches that we think could happen and honestly should happen. So there's already a few matches that have been confirmed on the card. And my goodness, some of them are absolute bangers. We'll save those to like the few end, but I want to start about the first match that was confirmed at Night of Champions for the Women's World Championship. It's going to be a rematch of Liv Morgan, the Women's World Champion, versus Iyo Sky. First, let me ask you guys, what were your thoughts about the whole Night of Champions match and how everything transpired there, and how do you think this build has been so far leading up to SummerSlam?
Good, Ed.
Well, to begin, I don't like that Liv Morgan was in the tournament. There was really no point in that. She's world champion. That's just poor writing from the storyline guys. But other than that, I like seeing Iyo Sky win. I think she deserves to be world champion because Liv has barely defended her championship. Now, I know that's not her fault, but it could be. It's on the writers. But when she is giving good, it's all about the writers. When they cook, they cook. It's usually always them, but they have been cooking so far, except with Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi. We'll get to that later. Uh, but I like Iyo Sky. She has potential. She doesn't have potential. She is like one of the best, and I'm excited.
I think the match was fine. I think the match was good. I have a different perspective than you guys when it comes to she shouldn't have been in the Queen of the Ring. I think I mentioned this before. I said I was okay with it in a way because she explained it. If there was no explanation before, she came on, I think it was either a pre-show or a post-show. She came on and was
It
like,
was the post show after she, I think, one of the post shows. Yeah,
hey, and she was
yeah.
like, hey, I want both titles, blah, blah, blah. But if there was no explanation, then I would be in agreement with you. But there was an explanation, so therefore I don't really mind it. We got to see Liv Morgan versus Iyo Sky at Night of Champions, and then we get to see it again at SummerSlam. So I really don't think there was another choice either at SummerSlam, because who else was Liv Morgan going to defend her title against? Okay, don't give me Lyro Valkyrio. Okay, she's on my same plate as Maxine Dupree, and actually, I am enjoying what I saw this past Raw with Maxine Dupree better than her in-ring talent. It's much more entertaining. Keep her there as a manager role. She's doing great. She's thriving in that. Yes, but yes. But Iyo Sky versus Liv Morgan SummerSlam, Zach, Ed, I like it. That's a main event type match. It's not gonna main event, but I would love to see it. Give it to me.
Absolutely. I think that I am in agreement with Ed though about the whole tournament thing. Because she did this after the Clash in Italy show, and mind you, when we got to that point, when we're in that kind of point, and you see what they're doing with the women's, because obviously we look at it now, Rhea Ripley's been hurt and all that kind of stuff, so we'll talk about what we could possibly see them doing with her. But that was her second defense already against Jade Cargill, and they were already looking like they had plans with her. Liv Morgan had to come onto the post show because she wasn't even booked on that show, and to say that she's entering the Queen of the Ring tournament. I was at least of the state of mind where I wanted a different finals. I would have been fine with Liv Morgan if she was facing Raquel Rodriguez in the final. I think there's more storyline you could build with that. Because I honestly think it's still going to be this possible way. If you look at how things are going in the Judgment Day, either Roxana Perez or Raquel Rodriguez, I think, are going to cost Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. We're going to have another Finn Balor moment of one of them costing the other the championship. I could see it happening. It's going to be one of the two. My honest predictions right now is it's going to be Roxanne Perez because she has really nothing going for her right now, and Liv Morgan kind of seems to just be not screwing her at everything, but like kind of just saying, oh, you'll be fine, just don't worry about it. And then Raquel Rodriguez, telling her to go after the Intercontinental Championship, not her not winning that and all that kind of stuff. But I think the way I look at things, the match itself was okay at Night of Champions, but I think at SummerSlam it's going to be a good match because it's two great performers. I'm just interested to see who comes out winning it because they always seem like they throw Iyo Sky in when they need her, like when she's a last resort. Because I also will say this though, if Stephanie Vaquer is healthy enough, I could see them throwing her in and making it a triple threat. I would not be surprised on that. But if she's not, I understand why Iyo Sky is the go-to person because she's an amazing performer. She can be thrown into any kind of match against any other performer. She's one of the best in-ring talents in all of the WWE. She's a superstar. She's not even an X Factor. She's one of the best, if not the best, at what she does. And just looking at how things go, I think between those two, they can put on a stellar match, and I expect it to happen at SummerSlam. But I am intrigued on who would win that match, to say the least. So
you mentioned that you wouldn't have mind Raquel Rodriguez versus Liv Morgan at SummerSlam, correct? Now, question.
Night of Champions,
at Night of Champions, right? Okay,
yeah, Night of Champions.
Okay, but then you would have wanted Raquel to win. I'm assuming.
Yes, so then we can have like a Triple H moment.
So either way, it would be SummerSlam Raquel versus Liv. Okay, so question: Who would you have winning that match? Liv Morgan or Raquel Rodriguez? Actually, scratch that. I'm asking you a better question. Do you think Raquel Rodriguez is ready to hold the championship? And if she's not, why put her in that situation to lose to Liv at SummerSlam? It would make no sense. I don't think she's ready to hold the championship, is my point.
But let me ask, I'm going to counter your question in that. Let me ask you this. I think that Dom Mysterio and Liv Morgan don't need anybody else surrounding around them. Those two by themselves could just be not even a faction. They could be one of those people that just always stay together because of the chemistry they work together. Other people like Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, JD McDonough, I think they need to have their runs as single stars because they can enter themselves into the certain divisions that possibly might need them. And I would rather, because think about it, if we did do that, and the biggest factor in that match wouldn't even be those two; it'd be who Roxanne Perez decides to go with. Because at that point, if they're facing off, Raquel Rodriguez has already turned her back on them. Because think about it, they've been kind of building it up for months at this point that like there's friction in the Judgment Day, and are we just gonna ignore the fact that Liv Morgan eliminated Raquel Rodriguez at the Royal Rumble to help her get this opportunity at WrestleMania to win the championship? I just think what it boils down to for me is like I think it makes more sense at this point to just have Liv Morgan and Dom Mysterio together and then have this whole Judgment Day grouping think it's never going to be as peak as it was at the beginning. And now it just kind of seems like you're throwing different elements at the same time. And I think it's more sooner than not that this Judgment Day fully gets break up and it just turns to Liv Morgan and Dom Mysterio. That's what I think. Because ever since the beginning, it's kind of just taken a derail since they have got rid of the OG members, excluding Dom.
I 100% agree. But you did fail to answer my question, Zach. Because I 100% agree with you. But my original question was, do you think she is ready to hold the World Women's Champion, whichever champion, the women's title? And if not, we're gonna have Liv Morgan versus Raquel Rodriguez at SummerSlam, have Raquel lose, then she's buried, and then what? So my point in asking you that was this: I 100% agree with you in terms of they can split off from Liv and Dom. But I don't think SummerSlam was a place to do it. You can have, not SummerSlam. SummerSlam is for big time matches. Give me Iyo and Liv. Do the Raquel split after. That's my side. That's what I.
Okay, so you said you would be opposed, or like you would be opposed if like say she costed Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. Like would you want something post SummerSlam? Or like,
That's fine.
oh, okay.
I just didn't want a one-on-one match between them.
Oh, okay. Like, so it's all right, because I think that would make more sense. I was saying I wouldn't be opposed if that's the match we got. Raquel won, and then that's what we got at SummerSlam. I also think we could see like what Finn Balor did to Damian Priest 2 years ago, refreshing the Judgment Day there, and then it just fully gets broken off. Like Roxanne Perez, who was brought in by Finn Balor, she goes into like the mid card scene, and then we have like a little bit of like Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, and then that goes away and stuff like that. I also could see this. We've seen everything happen here. What if like a Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, who are still in the Judgment Day, what if one of them win the Money in the Bank in October and go after Liv Morgan? That could also be a program within itself too, because we can know how stale WWE can get in that September to November period, at least, to say the least. So, but we'll see what happens either way. That match is going to be interesting. We'll talk about the women's other match in a little bit because we don't know what's going to happen there, obviously, with Rhea Ripley's injury. But let's talk about the other matches that we know. And my goodness, they are both bangers. Which one do you guys want to talk about first? The feud that has been going on for 15 plus years between Roman or Seth, or Hell in a Cell, Oba, Brock, the trilogy?
Let's go with Hell in a Cell. We haven't seen it since 2024.
And my goodness, that was a banger of a match between Drew and CM Punk. Obviously, Oba Femi, Brock Lesnar, the third match out of them all in a Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Let me ask you guys this before we get into it. Do you think this is Brock Lesnar's last match if he wins or loses, or do you think he extends it past that?
This is Brock Lesnar's last match, and I think he will lose it. It's at his hometown area in Minnesota. I can't see him not putting over Oba Femi. He loves working with him, and it'll be a great match with an even better outcome. This is Brock Lesnar's retirement match.
100% agree with Ed. I think everybody, as wrestling fans, everybody is making the conclusion that this is Brock Lesnar's last match. I don't think anybody expects Brock Lesnar to win this match. But I don't think WWE is explicitly saying it's his retirement match, blah, 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 because they've already teased the retirement. They didn't want to put that out there. Maybe that's fine. But I think internally, externally, I think everybody knows it's his last match. So even though we know Oba's going to win, I think it's really just for the entertainment of it. One last match with Brock, Hell in a Cell. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be grueling, gruesome. And the one mistake that they can make with this whole thing is not having this match main event. That's the one mistake they can make. Everything else is a given. Oba's going to win. Brock should retire. Blah, blah, blah. By the way, the match should also go more than 5-10 minutes. This is Brock Lesnar's last match. Don't give it 5 to 9. Give me a 20-minute banger. What? 18 minutes. Give me something. 20. Let's go. But don't mess it up. Give me a good time length and give me main event. I don't want to see. Hey, Zach, this is Minneapolis, Minnesota. Hey, Ed, this is SummerSlam. I don't want to see Brock Lesnar versus Oba. By the way, SummerSlam is Brock Lesnar's pay-per-view. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes do not need to main event any of these shows. Give me them at the opening of SummerSlam. Boom. And then you have Brock Lesnar versus Oba Femi main eventing one of the nights. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns main event the other. That's it. It's simple. Don't mess it up, WWE. What? Serious?
They should be the night one main event. No doubt about it.
I wholeheartedly agree, because the way I look at things is this: what better match to main event a show? Because then it's pretty much established at this point. Whenever Roman's on a Big Four show, he closes the show. What better to end a night one and lead into a night two than a Hell in a Cell match between two behemoths, Brock Lesnar, Oba Femi? That, like you said, that should be a 15-20 minute match. I want to see blood. I want to even see them get on the top of the damn cage for all I care. That would be freaking insane. A fall from grace from the top of the cage on. If Brock would be okay for that, dude, that would break professional wrestling. Oh my freaking God. That'd be insane. And like, what a way for Brock Lesnar to go out. And think about it. When the show's over, because think about it. If you do that in the first hour, and that is for Brock Lesnar, what a perfect way to send him off the air and he could just have a moment to sit with the crowd, kind of like what John Cena did last year when he wasn't over yet for him, but it was getting towards the end of him last year, and then you had the moment of Brock Lesnar coming back, and then have it full circle where Brock ends it a year later at SummerSlam and gets to have it with the crowd, have it with his family there in Minnesota, and then transition into the next night. And another thing, I think Punk and Cody could happen not only at SummerSlam, but possibly at Mania too. Because as of right now, it seems like Roman Reigns, two of his opponents that have been rumored are Rock, because it's in Saudi Arabia, but the backup plan is Oba Femi. So Oba Femi will already have something. You get to WrestleMania 43 and possibly maybe have a heel Punk or heel Cody part 2 at Mania. I could sign up for that. And another thing is, like, these two are great performers, and love to see them face off. But now that Punk's the champion, I don't know. But I think more than anything, they want Cody to be the champion in a bigger match, and possibly I wouldn't be opposed to having a heel Cody champion against a CM Punk this point in the career. I would like that. That's just me, because I'm kind of getting tired of Cody Rhodes and all that kind of stuff. I know I'm not the only one, but still, like, I think we need one of them to be heel at this point, and I know we're not going to get it with this short of a build, but if you give them a longer-term build with those two, how great they are on the mic, that could be great. And I just think, put those in because Cody Rhodes did the first hour of the show against Gunther, and except for the bad finish, that was building to be a good match. Why those two open the show and have an absolute banger, then you end that night 1 with Oba Brock, and then you transition it into night 2 with Seth and Roman. I just think WWE has the building blocks to perform a great SummerSlam. They have the matches, so they can position them the right way. This can be even better than last year's SummerSlam, because it's going to be hard to top last year's SummerSlam because it was such a banger, but they have the ability to do that already with the great matches. How they build them out throughout the shows is going to be the biggest.
100% agree. Couldn't agree more. I have stuff to say about the Cody CM Punk. I don't know if you want to divert that fast. I don't know if you want to say anything else about Brock and Oba.
No, I was gonna probably transition into Roman Seth, but we can talk about this because I think at this point it's not a confirmed match yet.
It's not confirmed,
but it's most likely to happen.
Yeah, right, exactly. But I don't even want to talk about their match. Because it just reminded me of something that happened this past Monday night on Raw. Okay? My thing is, right, about booking and creative. Don't put somebody in a position and then immediately throw it out the window to do something else. My point is, and where I'm going with this is, I thought I was getting attacked, but like, I don't know what's going on. I thought there was, okay, listen, what I was saying was, why did we give Sami Zayn the dang belt? Ed, Zach, why did we give Sami Zayn the belt? Okay? If you were giving him the belt, let him stay with the belt for a period of time. He had the belt for what, a week? Here.
9 days.
9 days! So he was a transitional champion, literally the definition of a transitional champion. You knew you were doing this so you could have CM Punk come back in Chicago and win the title. What you should have done is not had Sami Zayn in that position to begin with, or not had him win the match at all. Because now it just looks stupid. I'm not gonna lie, this looks worse to me than him losing the triple threat match with Gunther and Cody Rhodes. You should have just had him lose. This really looks worse because what now? Everybody, no, Sami Zayn was a champion. Like, he really wasn't though. Like, nobody really, like, that's not something everybody's gonna be talking about. Everybody's gonna be talking about the fact that he lost in 9 days to CM Punk.
I also want to throw this out. The one show that he got on SmackDown as champion was pre-recorded. It was in Atlantic City. It was 2 shows. The show wasn't even live on Friday. So the one show he got as the top guy on SmackDown wasn't even a live show.
think that's absurd. You shouldn't have had him win the triple threat match with that roll up. You shouldn't have had him win. You should have did this like after SummerSlam when we're like kind of nothing's going on and you should have had it done then. Not now when you knew he was gonna drop it. What? This was so stupid. This was a waste of time. You could have had Cody Rhodes win and then had CM Punk come back in Chicago in some other capacity and make the match with Cody Rhodes. It would have been much better. Much better.
Ed, you got anything to say?
Sami Zayn should have been champion for longer. It's like he's now CM Hogan. He just comes in and wins a championship after he took a long ass break. I don't like it. LA Knight said this in the beginning, earlier in the night before that match. You used to have to win matches and win tournaments before you got championship opportunities. But now, this isn't what do you call it? This is unethical politicking. I don't support it.
No, and I agree too. And I want to bring up something about CM Punk. Obviously, we all know the CM Punk pipe bomb. What CM Punk explained about WWE superstars is exactly what he's become in this modern day and age. Older superstars just taking title opportunities because they're veteran-led guys from the younger guys. Sami Zayn had the title for 9 days. He had to go through 10 opportunities just to win the title, and now another thing. As soon as Cody went down, I knew CM Punk was coming back and winning the championship because it was in Chicago. It spoke for itself. But Sami Zayn, who's had to crawl and so many times could have won the championship, was over with the crowd. Him as a champion and the work he's been doing as like a heel / babyface, like the diehard Sami Zayn fans, the last real good guy. He's been doing so much great work with that. And to just strip the title off him after having one of the biggest wins of his career, just to give it back to another main eventer because you want to set up Punk Cody, makes no sense in the world. They did the exact same shit to Drew McIntyre just to set up Cody Randy when they could have just not gave the title to Sammy, not screwed with us and played games, and just could have ran Cody Punk without having to run all the shenanigans and actually giving us hope that they were looking towards the future. I wanted him to at least Saturday night's main event. We didn't even get that.
I don't want to put the blame on CM Punk though, because this was probably yes, he's doing what he preached about what the problem was, but there's no way this was CM Punk's idea. This was creative. This is not on CM Punk. So this is exactly what CM Punk was talking about, but he can't control it now. Now he's in that position where he's the guy taking the opportunities, but it's not now it's kind of like you just got to do what you got to do. It's all creative. It's Triple H, and not even Triple H. Whoever's making these decisions, everybody in the back, it's on them. And it's kind of like it was just a moment in time to be able to get to the next moment, if that makes sense. Like it was a waste to me. Now what's Sami Zayn gonna do? Hold on. Let me think. What's Sami Zayn doing at SummerSlam? I don't know. Is Sami Zayn ever gonna be the champion again? I don't know. I feel like he's cooked now. What are we doing? And if he is,
I have a prediction of what may happen.
Good. Talk to me, Ed. Talk to me.
So maybe we've seen how some people hate CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, specifically one of Cody Rhodes' older friends who may have had a few disagreements with him, Kevin Owens. Maybe him and Sammy team up again. You know, I know it's tried and true. They've always been like turning on each other and like, but heel Sami Zayn, heel Kevin Owens versus like CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, like maybe a tag team for like maybe Money in the Bank, Hell in a Cell maybe. Kevin Owens' grand return at SummerSlam. Maybe he cost CM Punk the championship at SummerSlam. It goes back to Cody, and that would maybe at Money in the Bank. They lose, and Cody blames Punk, and then he turns all heel. That could be a possible storyline.
I like that a lot, Ed, but I'm gonna be honest with you. Remember when? Oh, we all remember when Drew McIntyre lost the title. What did he do at WrestleMania? He had a street fight with Jacob Fott too. I could either see that happening with happening that with Sami Zayn. Maybe not Jacob Fott too. I think we could see Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso in a street fight at SummerSlam, dude. I'm dead serious because they might not. Because think about it. Why did Fatu and McIntyre fight? I know Jey Uso didn't cost him the title or anything like that, but he was around the ecosystem and stuff like that. Or we could have Sami Zayn and LA Knight and Solo Sikoa versus. Oh yeah, we're gonna have. There it is right there. Sami Zayn, LA Knight, and Solo Sikoa versus the Usos and Jacob Fatu at SummerSlam. 6-man tag match. There it is right there. That's what Sami Zayn is going to be doing at Summer.
That you know what that would be? you know what they describe that over here? A bathroom break. That's what that would be. Absolutely not. They need to stop with these things. They need to
I think it's a shame that we're talking about LA Knight and saying bathroom break in the same sentence.
I agree. It's crazy. It's crazy.
This is unfortunately the world we live in, where WWE, where the if the good people get the people that wait, they have to wait to get their chances. So, but we'll move on from that. I think that honestly can go as our Cody CM Punk preview for SummerSlam, because obviously it's not confirmed, but we can all see our disagreements or how we ultimately feel about this match as a whole. We'll talk about a match that we all probably are in agreement with and that we're all very excited for. A match that has always been built up. We've seen it a few times already. It might be the last time we see it at a big show. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. All
One-on-one.
Yep. All presumed to be probably at the night 2 of SummerSlam. How are you guys feeling about that? And this could possibly be the final time we see these two greats go one-on-one.
I just want to see pure graps. No interference, no crazy ref knocking out scenario. Just pure hoops.
My question is, what that is then, who wins? Who's winning this match? What's the outcome? Okay. Does Seth lose clean? Does Roman Reigns lose clean? I can't see that happening.
If this is the last match between the two, then Roman has to beat Seth clean. Because Roman has never beat Seth clean, ever. The only time he's beat Seth was at the Royal Rumble a few years ago when he didn't let him go out of like the chokehold or something, and he lost by DQ or something.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, I think in that sense Roman has to win. But I'm going to ask you this then, because I thought of this early when I was thinking about the match. If Roman does win, when does he lose the title again? Realistically so, because think about it. When Roman went on this title reign with the bloodline and for 1,316 days, they built up a character in Cody Rhodes to eventually defeat not only him, but the entire bloodline. Who could be that next guy? Because I could see them running that all over again, because WWE is stale and they love running things back because they think it's going to work again. If they end up doing that, who are they going to find to come in here and eventually beat Roman Reigns? Because think about it. If he beats Seth Rollins, who's next in line? Oba Femi? Which that could be the guy, but at the same time, do they already want to
wait to do that until after WrestleMania 43 for The Rock, if that ends up happening?
Yeah, but at the same time, Oba, we also got to remember Oba won the King of the Ring. So how soon does he take advantage of that opportunity? Is it at Money in the Bank? Is it at Sunday night's main event in Atlanta? Like, there's only so much opportunity. There's a lot of opportunities that Oba could take that, but say he already loses, then are we waiting all the way to WrestleMania 43 for him to face The Rock, which we all would say Roman has to win that match, because it would make no sense for Rock to come back and then just win the title again. Then we go through this again. If Roman beats The Rock, then who's the next guy to beat him? I think, yes, Roman has to win, but then what do we do post that? Because it's not like we can run these two back. Like Seth said it himself, and I don't wholly believe it. This might be the last time we see these two face off, and if that's the case, who is next up in line for Roman Reigns if he beats Seth Rollins? It's going to be Oba Femi, but then post Oba Femi, the only thing you have is Survivor Series War Games. You're going to throw Roman in that again with the bloodline. Like, I think we're just in a stalemate where this is going to be a great match. I'm very excited for it, but I'm kind of worried and concerned to what happens post that match and how the build goes for the rest of the year post SummerSlam and those two facing off.
Boom, right there. The end of your sentence, the end of your thing that you just explained right there is exactly what I was thinking, Zach. I think that because my whole thing is like, so how is Seth and Roman Reigns? It's like John Cena and Randy Orton never had a match at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns has never faced off at WrestleMania. Don't give me the cash in at WrestleMania 31. It doesn't count. They've never had a one-on-one match. It's like they put this together at SummerSlam because, brother, there's the problem with WWE is that they don't have any more top guys to go to. They've rinsed, reused, and recycled. We're about to see Cody Rhodes versus CM Punk. We've seen CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. We've seen CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Okay, we're gonna see Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins. We've seen Roman Reigns with Cody Rhodes. We've seen. What the heck is next? Who's
Here's a
next?
thought.
You only have so many top guys. Oba Femi's in there now. He's a new top guy. But after that, they, like you said, Zach, it's kind of in a stalemate. It's kind of like, what are we gonna do next? It's gonna be more challenging to create WrestleMania type matches, in my opinion, when they're don't have a lot of top guys and they've been doing the matches so quickly. Like, it's kind of, you do have Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, but whatever's going on with Randy Orton and his back and whatever's going, I don't know, but it's like, I feel like WWE just needs to do something where, when you put an LA Knight in the main event, it feels like a main event match. Like right now, if you did LA Knight versus Seth Rollins on WrestleMania, that doesn't feel like a main event match at all to me. I feel like you have to build him up to get there. Build the stars up. Finn Balor, to me, has been doo-doo ever since I don't care about Finn Balor. I love Finn Balor. Finn Balor used to be a world champion type level star. Now he's on SmackDown. Now I feel like he's just there. To me. Right? You put Sami Zayn in the main event scene, but you didn't really build him up enough to where you wanted to keep the title on him because you didn't trust him. You took the title right off of him and gave it to CM Punk. Gunther, you try to build him up to be in the main event scene, and then you have him lose to Cody Rhodes with a weird rope pin thing because his foot was on the rope, and you had him do this whole crazy killer athlete, what was it, the career killer. Where's
Career
that
killer.
gone? That was building up to be main event. Where did that go? Now I hope, what a match would I like to see. Gunther versus Nick Aldis, Gunther versus Magnus. Put that match in there. But getting back to my original point before we talk about that, guys, I feel like WWE has a problem that they need to fix and don't want to because they don't want to build new stars. But I do see a slow rise. I just don't know if how soon they're gonna be main event stars like Trick Willie. What? That's a good example. But
Ed, you got anything to say before I get to my point?
Yeah, WWE has a problem with not being able to build new stars because the whole culture is like it's run by a booker. He needs to see people. It's run by former professional wrestlers, so he needs to see people go through the struggle. But sometimes that's not always the answer. LA Knight has been waiting and waiting and waiting for his opportunity, but it's never came. The closest he got was that fatal four-way back in Clash in Paris. Sometimes you just gotta pull the trigger. Like I've seen Chad Gable just got done his whole El Grande Americano thing. He put on a great 5-star match with the new El Grande Americano, Ludwig Kaiser, and he's got that whole gimmick set aside for him. But like, he was red hot before with Otis. Then that whole thing got detracted for the Wide Six. When people get over organically, WWE doesn't like that, so they have to put in their own stuff. But sometimes their own stuff doesn't work. And now you have potentially Chad Gable versus Penta on at SummerSlam July 13th with that whole gauntlet match that's coming this next Raw. I think that'll be the most likely option because of Chad Gable's push that he's now getting because of his whole El Grande Americano thing. So WWE just has to be able to build new stars. That's her problem.
I totally agree with you, Ed, and I like how you use the word over organically because it kind of just seems like when WWE has the opportunity to push a star, they don't take advantage of it because they're too scared of the risk. Perfect example. One time they did it, they messed up in Jey Uso, but now they just try to throw Jey Uso in every man event like he was in the King of the Ring final. You talk about LA Knight. It should have been LA Knight versus CM Punk at Saturday Night's main event on November 1st. It should not have been Jey Uso. But it kind of seems like when they try to push the stars that are like, because Jey Uso did get over organically, but then they kind of
It was over. His yeet thing was overused.
Mm-hmm. And then by the time it was overused, that's when WWE kind of wanted to push him to the moon, and that's that's why it crashed and failed at the point it did. And now you talk about it, LA Knight. All of us love Trick Williams. When is it going to come to the point where they take the title off of him and he might be stuck because he's not in the main event scene? And then there's so many other guys. Sami Zayn, like obviously he's not one of the younger guys, but still, Javon Evans. I know, like he's one of the future stars. We kind of haven't seen him. We're going to see him in the gauntlet match, but like he's going to be one of these guys. He's going to be one of these guys that once he's going to be one of these guys that is going to have to step up. And then I want to end it off with all this. Braun Breaker was facing CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship at the beginning of the year.
Great point, Zach. Keep going. Great point.
And now he is winning the tag team titles again with Austin Theory. He was the top young guy in this whole thing, and now he's got his spot completely dumped down by Oba Femi. He is the perfect example of they did not take advantage of him. He should have won the title when Seth Rollins got hurt. You could have possibly had those two at Mania. I'm not opposed to having Punk and Roman, but Braun Breaker was already over. He just knocked out Seth Rollins, one of the main event guys, and then you have him face off CM Punk, lose, and now he's back winning the tag team titles, and all the stock he had has crashed and
burned, brother. By the way, you killed that. You're 100% right. That was a great example. Braun Breaker, brother. He was being built to the point where I wanted to see Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker. Spear versus spear. Dog versus dog. I don't want to say. Now he's up against Austin Theory. Now he's Austin. Who cares? Maxine.
And he's not even the main focus of the vision anymore because it's probably Austin Theory at this point.
Brother, I don't know. Great point. I don't know what they did with Braun Breaker, but like we said, what happened? Seth Rollins, the main guy for the last 20 years, took the wins. Twice. How many times? It was twice back to back?
Yeah, because Braun Breaker won at Backlash, Seth won on a Monday Night Raw in an overseas crowd, and then Seth won at Night of Champions in a steel cage.
I would have watched, if Braun Breaker was built and he won against Seth Rollins, I would have watched Braun Breaker versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. What?
Agreed. And Braun Breaker, another thing, imagine the picture you could have got with Braun Breaker's face just completely bloody and his hand being raised over Seth Rollins. I don't know. So, but now since we talked about all the matches that have been confirmed, I'm going to ask you guys each. Give me it could be for a title, just a match in general. You kind of already talked about Nick Aldis and Gunther, so we'll not talk about that one. Each of you guys give me 3 matches that you would like to see or you think we should see at SummerSlam.
Good question. Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. Okay.
No Ricky Saints?
You could throw him in there.
Okay.
Something of that nature. I'm not sure exactly. Something of that nature, right? United States Championship match. Boom. Triple threat, sure. Or singles match, whatever. Give that to me, right? Boom. Give me a match with Javon Evans. Like you said, I want Javon Evans to be highlighted. I cannot tell you right now, that comes to me right now, maybe you do a match for him, but there's definitely some. And don't put him in a multi-man match, ladder match, woo. So give me Javon Evans, put him in a storyline. SummerSlam is in August 1st, August 2nd. Let's get Javon Evans going in a single storyline and have that crazy match. Because, brother, Javon Evans versus whoever in a singles match goes crazy. Especially, then you add on a rivalry, stop it. And then another match, I would say, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe something with the returning Randy Orton or Drew McIntyre. Something of that sort. I'm not sure. Um, I don't know. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Ed, if you have anything, and then I'll go. Or
I do have.
okay,
I'd like to see JC Jane versus Rhea Ripley. I'd also like to see the triple threat between Trick Williams, Ricky Saints, and Carmelo, as Christian said. And at this point, it's just they're teasing us with Gunther and Nick Aldis. That's got to be a match. Ooh, and maybe we could also see Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair. Maybe that would be my bathroom break match. We could also see the Street Profits in there. I feel like they got to be in here, unless Montez Ford is taken off because of the birth of his child. Yeah, that's it.
all right. Chris, do you have something to say real quick before I get into mine? Or
No, I didn't. I do not. I don't have anything to say. I
okay,
really don't. What I will say is, before, on a side note, I think it's time for the Street Profits to move on. You mentioned the Street Profits. Break them up. They just won the tag team titles again. That should be like the finale. Again, Angelo Dawkins sold the bag, however you want to put it. Every time they lose, I feel like he gets the pin. Brother, you know what I wouldn't mind if it's built correctly? This is coming out of left field, but I really wouldn't mind it. A Montez Ford versus Angelo Dawkins with a something on the match, whether it's an Extreme Rules, something on the match at SummerSlam as a mid card SummerSlam match. I'd watch that. What? Because they're done as a tag team. What are you gonna keep doing? They just lost the titles again. Are we gonna face division again, and the title's gonna go back and forth? Like it's pointless at this point. Okay, what we really need to do before you get into your three matches, brother. What we really need to do with the tag team division is, I heard that Enzo and Big Cass are getting back together, but they're going to be on NXT. Shoot them up to the main card immediately, because them back in the day were insane, and then Vince McMahon broke them up like a dummy. I don't know why he broke them up. As soon as he broke them up, they both went stale, and then they both left the company after Enzo Amore went to the Cruiserweight division and did all that BS. Okay? Leave them together. We need new tag teams, because I'm done with Solo Sokoa and the Bloodline and Tala Tongo, and I'm just sick and tired of it. The tag team division, brothers, ever since WrestleMania 39, ever since the Usos lost and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn gained the titles, and then after that period kind of simmered into WrestleMania 40, the tag team titles have been piss poor. Nobody cares. You know how relevant the tag team titles were going into WrestleMania 38, WrestleMania 39? What?
you got the night one main event, for crying out loud.
What? And now it was whatever. So that's what I would say. I think that brother, Enzo and Big Cass, okay, split the Street Profits up. But I'm sorry, brother. You can go into your three matches.
Okay, yeah. So mine, I have one of the matches. I kind of previewed it, but I have a different angle of it. I'm gonna kind of have I'm gonna have a comedy match in there as well, and then I'm gonna kind of spitball the third match. To be honest with you, the first match I'm thinking of, you talked about it, Charlotte and Jade. We haven't heard Rhea Ripley at all, so as of right now, I think it's tough. I'm gonna go with the angle that she's going to have to relinquish the title, and we're gonna get Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair for the women's championship. We also could come back and I love if Rhea Ripley to come back and it's JC Jane. I think that would be good too, to get JC Jane that big of a match this early on in her call-up career, because she was amazing in NXT, and the rise she had was absolutely spectacular. So I could see that. Then the other match I was kind of talking about it. We're gonna see it at Saturday night's main event: Danhausen versus JD McDonough. I think we could have those two face off. There's so much in me that I would love. Like, I think there's somebody gonna get involved. I think it could be Jalen Brunson getting involved because it's MSG and how big of how big of an event it is. But I don't think it would be Jalen Brunson pairing up with Danhausen at SummerSlam. I think it could be we had him do it last year. He could do it again. I think we might see Jelly Roll again here at SummerSlam, but teaming up with Danhausen against Dom Mysterio and Jaden McDonough in a comedy match. That's just my prediction. They always like to have one of those matches between a card like this. They had Jelly Roll last year, and that was honestly the match served its purpose. This would be more comedy based with Danhausen, and I think they've obviously been building a storyline with Dom, JD, and Danhausen. I could see them doing that, and then we talk about it last. Obviously, I would love to see Chad Gable and Penta. I think that is going to be a stellar match, and I think that's what's going to happen. But let me bring you back to SummerSlam 2024. Who faced off in that Intercontinental Championship match? It was the champion Sami Zayn, who won it at WrestleMania after beating Gunther. Penta won it a little bit earlier than that, but who did he lose to? The up-and-coming Braun Breaker, and Braun Breaker went on to have a title reign. Yes, Chad Gable will be great, and the steam they had steam on him, but we've seen WWE time and time again. You talked about it when they get when the person gets over organically. I know it was a stellar match, and it makes a lot of sense why he got over. But like you talked about it, these people that get over organically sometimes always don't get the push. I also wouldn't be surprised if they get Javon Evans to win that, and Javon Evans has his moment at SummerSlam, beating Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. That's my prediction.
Best thing you said all video. Oh my goodness. Best thing you said all video. I take it back. What? Go ahead, Ed. Best thing you said all video.
If I remember correctly, Chad Gable, or Penta's first opponent in WWE, was Chad Gable. And it was this whole thing, well, Chad couldn't beat luchadors, so he became El Grande Americano. And now maybe it could be full circle, where he relinquishes his luchador title, and then he beats Penta for the Intercontinental Championship.
That boy is bouncy, Ed. Give it to Javon Evans. Give it to Javon Evans. Now, it would be great to reward Chad Gable after what he did with El Americano, piss poor, that whole thing. Now, the match was great. The last match was great. But the woof, okay.
Build up.
Whatever in AAA, great.
Build up was spectacular. In WWE, we did not need to see that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. But the boy is bouncy. I listen, Javon Evans. What? But getting back to your other point, Zach. The Fanatics Fest. Although Jalen Brunson's the king of New York, he's always in New York. The Fanatics Fest is also in New York, right? Jalen Brunson and Roman Reigns are having a podcast with Shannon Sharp, I think, on that Saturday morning. I think Saturday night's main event.
That Saturday night.
That Saturday night. By the way, it's turned into a piss poor pay-per-view. I don't know. It's been going down to me ever since the start of Saturday night.
And this is probably the biggest it's had, and we've only had 2 matches announced, and it's a women's tag team championship match and a comedy match.
So, I think I agree with you, brother, in terms of Jalen Brunson right there. They haven't been to New York City since the Knicks won, I believe. So, I'm assuming whether it's Jalen Brunson or not, we're going to see New York Knicks players there, maybe a cameo in the crowd, or it would be cool if Jalen Brunson got involved. I'd rather him get more involved than Jelly Roll. Get him out. He needs to be like Pat McAfee and not come back. I don't care.
I did that. I threw Jelly Roll out because of this. Jalen Brunson, I could see him getting involved at Saturday night's main event, but I also don't know if you saw Brunson, I think, got surgery, so he might not be able to compete even if it's a 5-10 minute match, quick match, especially with the season coming right around the corner. You're already
he's not gonna have a match, but maybe he'll like throw like a chair, and I don't know. Maybe he'll do something.
Think about it. He did do that with LA Knight. Like, he got in the ring with LA Knight when there was Tyrese Halliburton and Logan Paul. I think I could see, like, since it's a comedy match and you saw Danhausen call somebody, it could be Brunson just to, like, because Dominic's about to give JD a chair, and here comes Jalen Brunson to save the day in MSG, get a huge crowd pop. But then I think I wouldn't be surprised if they extend the storyline and have Danhausen face somebody, but then Jalen Brunson can't compete, so he gets a partner for him, and it's Danhausen, maybe not Jelly Roll, another partner versus Dom and JD.
I like the first one though better. But like just whatever, brother. Especially and it makes so much sense with the story with Danhausen and the Knicks. It makes so much sense. That would be the highlight of the night. Because tell me, Saturday night's main event. What's the main event of this card? I'm just confused.
We only have 2 matches, and what? It's next Saturday? Like,
Right. But so if we let's so we did our SummerSlam. Let's do our Saturday night main event predictions for the who's main eventing this card? What are we putting on this card? It's already trash. What are we putting on this card? The last main event we had was what? Ethan Page versus Penta?
no, it was Street Profits versus The Vision.
It's not better. That's not better. It's not better. It's not better. It's not better. I don't know. This is like another fill-in for SummerSlam. Like, who cares? I don't even know if I'm taking the time out to watch this pay-per-view. It's so bad.
I know, because think about it. What I will give WWE a little bit of things, because this is usually the time where Money in the Bank is, and now that they moved it to October, they don't have that big of an event here. So, but this is also the fault of WWE. Now that Roman and Seth are confirmed, they're not gonna have Roman compete at a Saturday night's main event because they don't want him to get any banged up in any way. Like, I honestly think what we could see there is I think we could, with LA Knight and the Usos fought too in Solo, we could see something culminate at Saturday night's main event there. Because there's no way they're going into next Saturday with 2 matches. There's no way. I think the tops they're going to be able to get to is maybe 4 or 5. Because usually at this point they already have a few matches, but like the matches are few lackluster. And like at the same time, like whatever, because that's another thing. Like, what are they going to build? I think I will say this could be the opportunity to get to the triple threat at SummerSlam. You have Trick versus Carmelo Hayes, because they're having them face off this Friday night to see who wins for the United States Championship. Ricky Saints could cost Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo gets another opportunity at Saturday night's main event. Ricky cost him again or something like that, and then they said this is the end of it. We're having a triple threat at SummerSlam to finish it all off. So that could happen. But I also don't know what could happen. Are we going to get like Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria at Saturday night's main event? Like, I don't even know. I'm just spitballing at this point because I have no idea what they're going to throw at us at Saturday night's main event.
Oh my goodness, Zach. We're going to get Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria. Listen, put that on Saturday night's main event. Do not put that match on SummerSlam. Do not put that match on SummerSlam. Put that on Saturday night's main event. Put those matches. Do not put that on SummerSlam. Do not. Also, I remember when people were like, "Oh, push Lyra Valkyria." She is just. I'm sorry. She. Maybe you want to blame it on the creative and what they did with her. To me, and now with this whole dark, it's not it. It's not it. It's so just turn off, bathroom break. Just, I'd rather watch Lash Legend on my television screen. I'm so serious. Give me anybody else rather than her at this moment. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Before we wrap things up, I want to ask you guys one more question.
I have a question. What do
Okay.
you think about Lyra Valkyria?
Well, from what I hear, she was a good heel when she was in the indies and stuff like that, and like going through wrestling promotions, and then she was a heel when she entered NXT. I think the climax of her is just winning the Intercontinental Championship back. That could be the climax of all that. Like, I don't see her being able to enter the main event scene as a heel, because they've kind of ruined her stock at this point where she wouldn't be able to get to that point, even if she's a heel or a babyface. So, but that kind of leads me into my question for both of you guys. What do you think they do with Sol Ruca, one, at this Saturday night's main event, if she's on that card, or at SummerSlam? Because I think she has to be there at SummerSlam, because they already ran Raquel Rodriguez. I don't see them running that again. Or they could again at Saturday night's main event. What do you think they could be doing with Sol Ruca as we wrap things up here?
I think they just build her up more by having her win more matches. I think they just throw any mid-carder at her and, like, she wins. She needs more experience. She's botched a few things, but she's young. It's not her fault. She just needs more experience. That just means more matches. This is where house shows come in handy. They give you a lot of practice.
You said all day now. What? What? I totally agree with Ed. I don't really have anything to say. I totally agree. Maybe do like an open challenge or something. What? You know? I love Soruka though. I like her a lot.
Okay, all right. And as we wrap things up here, obviously we said this is how we're feeling into SummerSlam. I'm gonna end off with this statement: WWE had the opportunity to move to the next generation of superstars in this SummerSlam, and they fumbled. That's how I feel.
I have
So,
one more
okay.
question to ask. What are your thoughts on Sheamus being released? Or contract expiration?
I'm disappointed. They could have easily. I'm disappointed because they didn't give him the Intercontinental Championship. One, that's just completely disrespectful, I think, to what he's given to this company. And two, kind of how they booked him towards the tail end before he got hurt. Like his last match was with John Cena and Rey Mysterio, which was a great match. But his last real feud was with Rusev, for crying out loud. That culminated.
That Donnybrook match was good.
Mm-hmm. It was a good match, but that was his last.
He just put on banger after banger after banger.
Absolutely.
He was consistent. And then when they asked him for a pay cut, and he declined, rightfully so, because he hasn't put on a bad match in years.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of disappointing what they did with him.
I just want to confirm that's what happened. They asked him for a pay cut and he declined.
Or contract renegotiation, which means pay cut.
Yeah, basically, he only gets, instead of he only gets paid when he performs, instead of getting paid in general. Like he has to be on the card and stuff like that.
TKO is fumbling the World Wrestling Entertainment so badly. You just kicked Sheamus out. You kicked Sheamus to the curb because you got rid, although they were doing, it was boring. You made the New Day leave. It's like, what are we? All of these guys have been with the company for God knows how long. I'm done. I don't have anything to say. I just can't. I don't know what's going on. I'm about to jump ship. I'm about to go to AEW. What? MJF? What? What? Come on.
I know you will when we get Mr. Beast versus Speed at WrestleMania 44 in the main event.
I like Speed though. Speed, he had a good match.
Yeah. So, but any final thoughts? Any of you guys got as we wrap things up here?
I have a final.
Okay.
I have wrapped up my thoughts.
This is my final statement. I heard your final statement, Zach, and I totally agree. This is my final statement for the day. As we wrap up this episode of CWS Breakdown, WWE Breakdown. This is my final take. What I have to say. As we approach SummerSlam, it's the middle of summer. Everybody's always looking towards WrestleMania. WrestleMania is the pinnacle of sports entertainment. Just like the Super Bowl is the pinnacle of the NFL. The NBA Finals is the pinnacle of the NBA. WrestleMania this year, although it's looking rocky, I have a good feeling about the end results of WrestleMania. In comparison to WrestleMania, although the Golden State Warriors have looked rocky, I have a great feeling about them going into this NBA Finals. Because I think we all know that, Mike Dunleavy, Steve Kerr, everybody in the front office, we're going to get LeBron James. And the next time that I come on this podcast, LeBron James will be a Golden State Warrior, and we will be going to
a Sixer, right?
NBA Finals. That is my last thing I have to say. I hope everybody has a great night. What? So
okay. All right. I see what you did there. So, but when we see you guys next, LeBron will be a Sixer. We'll see how things go. But enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Zach, Chris, and Ed signing out here on CWS WWE Breakdown. Peace, guys.